By Calvo's Insurance, a legacy of trust, serving Micronesia since 1938. Matson and the Adahi Itano program. Cars Plus kick off our holidays by supporting the Make-A-Wish Jingle Rock Virtual Run. Visit the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Guam and CNMI Facebook page for details. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it, and King's Restaurant, always open, always local, and serving up favorites for over 40 years.
Coming up on Primetime, a motion hearing was held regarding a business class action lawsuit against the public sector. Plus, preparations continue in anticipation for the arrival of coronavirus vaccines. Peter Santos gives you full details. And the island's private sector looks to the Guam Hotel and Restaurant Association's strategy to get the island's economy back on its feet and safely. Good evening and hafa day, everybody. Thanks so much for streaming us or watching us on KUAM TV. I'm Jason Salas, and these are tonight's top stories. Well, disturbing news leads our broadcast from the central part of the island as GPD officers responded to an incident behind Docomo Pacific's headquarters in Tamuning. Officers at the scene says an injured person was found face down on the ground and transported to the nearby hospital. As of news time, the condition of that victim is unknown, with no details having been issued by GPD. We'll have more on KUAM.com when we find out more information. Elsewhere tonight, the Joint Information Center last night reported 15 new positive cases of coronavirus. Those were the result from 1,606 samples. The island's current COVID case count is now 7,019, 658 of which are active, with more than 6,200 people having recovered from the virus. There have also been 113 deaths. 33 COVID patients are hospitalized at the island's various hospitals, with 10 in the intensive care unit and 8 on ventilators. As of Monday, Guam's CAR score was up 0.1 to 2.1. Up north to our friends in the CNMI, there were 2 additional cases of COVID-19 identified by travel screening and confirmed through testing upon arrival to the NMI. They've been safely in quarantine and were moved to the designated isolation area for close monitoring. The COVID case count in the Northern Marianas since March is 111. Back here on Guam, the fight for their right continues for business owners as a motion hearing was held this morning in the business class action lawsuit against your government, which has moved to dismiss that complaint. Adriana Cotero explains in this report.
Local bar owner Tom Pinehoff is challenging a number of the governor's executive orders during the pandemic that have affected his businesses. Pinehoff is suing Governor Lou Leon Guerrero and Public Health Director Art San Agustin for enacting shutdown orders for businesses deemed non-essential. He argues this is in violation of his rights. Ultimately, Pinehoff is asking the court to declare the governor's shutdown orders as unconstitutional and seeking compensation for his losses. The AG's office, however, believes the complaint should be dismissed, arguing Pinehoff has failed to present proper legal claims of which relief can be granted. A motion hearing was held this morning in Magistrate Judge Michael Bordalio's courtroom. Assistant Attorney General Robert Weinberg began with stating, quote, "I want to be clear the government of Guam is not unsympathetic to Mr. Pinehoff's concerns and many business owners on Guam. This is a serious matter," unquote. In addressing Pinehoff's legal claims, Weinberg argues the due process is not applicable in this context, and individual capacity claims are nothing but debate on constitutionality from all being affected across the world during the pandemic. Weinberg says, quote, "In terms of why a bar or tavern and theater are prohibited over a hardware store, grocery store, and funeral is because we are not congregating around each other for a long period of time," unquote. In the motion, he cites governments faced with a public health emergency may implement emergency measures that curtail constitutional rights so long as the measures have at least some real or substantial relation to the public health crisis and are not beyond all question a plain palpable invasion of rights secured by the fundamental law. Pinehoff's attorney Tom Fisher responds with saying, "Listening to the AG here, it sounds like we are arguing separate judgment. The AG argues we haven't addressed their arguments, and one of the reasons is because it isn't required under Rule 12b-6, unquote. Further, he argues, quote, "The right to make a living is a fundamental right. There are many ways in which a bar owner or tavern owner can operate safely following guidelines. That is doable," unquote. The court is taking the matter under advisement and plans to issue a recommendation to Chief Judge Francis Hidinko Gatewood. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Adriana Cotero.
While every single one of us does our part to contain COVID and keep the CAR score down for our island, the private sector is stepping up to the plate to get Guam heading down the road to recovery with a strategy to be unveiled officially by the Guam Hotel and Restaurant Association later this week.
The pandemic paralyzing our economy.
This has gone on far too long, and we've lost a lot of good businesses already.
GHRA is rolling out plans to get Guam's economy back on the road to recovery. It's a plan that calls for rapid mass testing, and all in, Guam Contractors Association Safety Committee member and LMS Construction Safety Manager Vince Salas.
If we provide this rapid response testing, if we continually do so week after week or month after month, it'll at least give us a foundation of what to do next and how to better prepare ourselves for our businesses to stay open. For me, it's to show that we're doing something.
The Tana Homlu y Islata, or Let's Heal Our Island plan, is a comprehensive community-based initiative with three main goals. 1, to stop the spread of the coronavirus and save lives. 2, to get Guam open and get people working. And 3, provide a solution that balances science and cost. The way it works is that GHRA would create a rapid response team that would coordinate bi-weekly mass testing of employees of businesses that are part of the program. GHRA's partners, such as the American Medical Clinic and California-based company the 360 Clinic, would help with the testing, tracking, contact tracing, and surveillance. Bottom line, it would ensure a healthy local workforce, and instead of being shut down, businesses would be able to demonstrate and provide proof that they're containing COVID.
And I think that's part of what's not fair right now with businesses, is that they're not getting the opportunity to show that, hey, I'm doing something about this. Keep me open. Allow me to pursue my business vision and stay open.
The GHRA plan is meant to augment public health's pandemic response, and aside from implementation in the private sector, they are hoping to also include the rapid testing program at agencies such as the airport, Port Authority, and the Department of Corrections. The plan has been presented to the governor in hopes of securing CARES Act funding.
Speaking of strategies, planning continues for the distribution of COVID vaccines once that they arrive on island. With the latest on this topic is KUAM's Peter Santos.
Public Health confirms that Guam will be receiving the much-anticipated COVID vaccines before the end of the month. And according to spokesperson Janela Carrera, they've got some logistics to sort out.
We're very busy just doing a lot of planning to engage the community, not just with testing, but also with the distribution of vaccines and getting the community immunized.
Carrera says that community outreach is critical in order to get people on board with taking the vaccine.
I want to ensure that they get informed and educated about the vaccines, because I know that there may be some hesitation as far as the vaccine, and so just get that trust within the community as well.
And they plan to build that trust by getting local leaders and influencers to join their education campaign. Carrera added that they are expecting a new total of 11,700 doses of the Pfizer vaccine, broken down into separate shipments in batches of 3,900, for a total of 5,850 individuals immunized. And with the vaccine's expected arrival around the corner, planning is going to need to happen as soon as possible. Carrera says the vaccine committee hasn't been chosen quite yet, but having one would be a benefit.
But I believe it would be helpful to have this committee in place just to ensure that decisions are being thoroughly made, review plans, and make recommendations as well.
In late October, the CDC issued a vaccine playbook for operations. It suggests jurisdictions should establish a COVID-19 vaccination program implementation committee to enhance the development of plans, reach of activities, and response communication, messaging, and delivery. Committee membership should include leadership from the jurisdiction's COVID-19 planning and coordination team, as well as representatives from key COVID-19 vaccination providers. This would include clinics, pharmacies, and even churches, amongst a slew of other suggestions. But it looks like we'll have to wait and see who will be included in our committee. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Peter Santos.
A social media video produced by Loop had Public Health Director Art St. Augustine saying the 3 ultra-low temperature freezers are currently being monitored by local and federal health officials to ensure that they function accordingly. St. Augustine also says the freezer locations will be equipped with backup generators and will be monitored by security staff 24 hours a day. For the time being, Public Health, the Governor Lou Leon Guerrero, and Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio say they recently joined states and territories In a tabletop exercise led by FEMA and with participation from the CDC and representatives from the Health and Human Services Agency. The plan so far is for frontliners to receive the vaccine first, including healthcare workers and the island's valued first.
And additionally, we are starting to gather data this week on all people that work on schools or in early child care development centers. They'll be getting reached out and notified by public health as the weeks go on to identify those that are going to be in contact with children, either at school or at daycare, and give them an opportunity to opt into a vaccine and get their priority lifted. That's part of the exercise that we're going on.
Well, after frontliners are vaccinated, the plan is to then avail the vaccine to the community, but that is not expected to occur for another several months. The FDA reportedly could give emergency use approval for the first coronavirus vaccines as early as this week. Stay tuned for more on that. Well, the pandemic may have disrupted many traditions and events, but one that was going to happen one way or another was a celebration of the Solemnity of the Immaculate Conception, Santa Maria in Camalen. The day of worship began at 6 a.m. Mass at the Hagåtña Cathedral, officiated by His Excellency Archbishop Michael Burns.
She knew if she said yes, the child was conceived in her that was not from Joseph, she's going to live a tough life. There's going to be a lot of tongue wagging. There's going to be a lot of shame being put on her. She was bold as a lion because she was righteous.
Our Blessed Mother made her way around the entire island, starting promptly at 7:50 this morning and ending at about 4. As she made her way through the island's various municipalities, parishioners were seen pulling aside and in center lanes, many lining along sidewalks, waving white handkerchiefs, all taking time out of their day to honor her holy grace. It was an amazing sight to see. Well, please stay tuned and keep streaming us because we will continue with more Primetime right after these messages.
Get up-to-the-minute news, plus access to alerts, streaming radio, promotions, and more on your mobile device by downloading the KUAM News mobile app, available at the App Store now.
Half-a-day federal employees and annuitants, the open season is here. Calvo Select Care offers a comprehensive on-island network including GMH and GRMC. Our off-island provider network stretches across the Pacific. Plus, our partnership with United Healthcare provides over 1 million providers throughout the continental United States. Calvo Select Care, healthcare that's always there for you. Federal employees and annuitants, enroll today.
Time doesn't stop, and neither should you or your business. Introducing Stroll Courier. Now you can have all your packages, documents, and gifts delivered island-wide without leaving the comfort of your home or office. Delivery has never been easier with our pre-booking and express same-day delivery options. Visit strollguam.com/courier and book a delivery today. Stroll Courier. Book, track, deliver.
KUAM News, winner of the 2020 Regional Edward R. Murrow Award for Excellence in Social Media.
To Primetime here on KUAM. How are we not covered? That was precisely the question Martha Parr was asking when she received the denial letter from insurance providers stating that her husband's COVID-19 hospitalization would not be adequately covered. This morning on The Link, Martha rejoined us, giving us an update on how things are going. Here's more on that.
I think the combination of the media, public awareness, the open enrollment timing, and then of course the speaker's strong letter to the U.S. Attorney, the AG, and Daphne Shimizu as the insurance commissioner, all of those efforts really put the pressure on them so that we could get an answer right away.
Parr says she was notified as of December 1st that her insurance provider would in fact cover the expenses.
We were informed that we only had to pay our two $100 co-pays, which is what I read in my benefits, the $100 for the October 12th ER visit, and then the $100 for the hospitalization.
Had the insurance provider stood by their initial denial letter, Parr and her husband Benny would have been left with a bill of almost $20,000. But to Parr, the situation wasn't only about them.
You know, this wasn't just a fight about us, it was fighting for GMH too. You know, because we didn't want to see them wait 6 months for an appeal process. It's scary because we pay our premiums And you want to be able to know that the hospital is going to accept you, and you don't want to be caught in the middle of these, unpaid bill disputes.
PAR says changes need to be made to ensure that both patients and healthcare providers are taken care of and not left in the limbo of a 6-month appeal process.
I feel bad if there's other people that really have to wait out the whole 6-month process. I'm not in politics, but I would suggest that somebody look at that 6-month appeal and make it shorter, like 60 days.
As of now, the CFO of the Guam Memorial Hospital, Yuka Hechinova, is unaware of any payment from PAR's insurance provider, despite the confirmation from the provider to PAR that the expenses will be covered. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Peter Santos.
Thanks once again, Pete. In other news, murder defendant Joshua Palacios' trial is expected to occur this month, with jury selection set for the 21st. He is accused for the deadly shooting of Keith Castro, with the incident occurring at a residence in Jigo in July of 2019. Castro was allegedly struck with a metal baton by defendant Tomas Taitano. Palacios then allegedly pulled the trigger and killing Castro. Taitano has since pled guilty to aggravated assault and criminal mischief. During the pandemic, it's been difficult for the case to head to trial, as well as prior defense attorneys withdrawing from the case due to conflict. Palacios will be represented in trial by newly appointed defense attorney Tom Fisher. From Talafofo, a suspicious package delivered to a residential mailbox in the Southern Village prompted response from the fire and police departments, as well as the Navy's EOD unit and the Guam National Guard's 94th Civil Support Team. Monday at about 2:24, the individual opened the parcel and noticed a white powdery substance, causing a slight irritation on her hands. Working together, units were able to determine the substance was similar to cornstarch. It's unknown why or if the substance was used for packaging and shipping. Just before 8:30, the all-clear was given to residents in the Talafofo home. Congressman Michael Sinicolas, in other news, has made another recommendation to the incoming Biden and Harris administration, recommending retired U.S. Air Force Major Anthony Borja to serve as ambassador to the Republic of Palau. The congressman said, quote, Major Borja's historical familial ties to Palau and his success in navigating Palau's political and judicial systems in context with his service to our country in Vietnam, Desert Storm, and Bosnia affords the U.S. with an opportunity to have a regionally astute, battle-tested diplomat in service of our country, end quote. The major currently resides in Las Vegas, where he actively volunteers in service of our nation's veterans in the National Organization of Chamorro Veterans. From education, the Learning Institute will receive $12 million in a loan from GURA, with which to fund a portion of the permanent campus for the iLearn Academy Charter School. GURA received HUD approval of its request to reissue Guam's Community Development Block Grant Program for the use of that money. The permanent campus plan for school year 2022 allows for to expand its capacity to 900 students. Well, the coronavirus is the focus of both the current and incoming presidents this week, but there will be additional news as President-elect Joe Biden said today that he does intend to name his picks for AG and Defense Secretary later this week. Here's more.
President-elect Joe Biden officially announced members of his health team Monday. They include California Attorney General Javier Becerra as Mr. Biden's nominee for Health and Human Services Secretary, Dr. Vivek Murthy as U.S. Surgeon General, and Dr. Rochelle Walensky to lead the Centers for Disease Control. Walensky tweeted she's honored to lead the brilliant team at the CDC. The president-elect also plans to appoint Dr. Anthony Fauci as Chief Medical Advisor on COVID-19, tweeting, Dr. Fauci isn't just one of our foremost experts on combating viruses, he is a good man and a tireless public servant. Dr. Fauci will appear virtually at an event Tuesday with President-elect Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris introducing the health picks. Mr. Biden is also scheduled to meet with the head of Operation Warp Speed this week, the program in charge of developing, manufacturing, and distributing coronavirus vaccines.
We have yet to see any kind of detailed plan.
President Trump will host a vaccine summit Tuesday ahead of Thursday's FDA meeting that could give Pfizer's vaccine the green light. At the White House, he commented on his personal lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, who is now tested positive for COVID-19.
Rudy's doing well. I just spoke to him. He's doing very well. No temperature, and he actually called me early this morning. It was the first call I got. Now he's doing very well.
Over on Capitol Hill, Congress is back in session, focused on getting a deal on coronavirus relief before the holidays. Democratic leaders and President-elect Biden have backed a bipartisan $908 billion proposal as the starting point for additional emergency aid. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Wilmington, Delaware.
Regional headlines are coming up, plus later in the show, your birthday shoutouts.
Your community calendar is brought to you by Taco Bell. Whether it's your first meal or your fourth meal, we've got you covered. Taco Bell, live Más.
It makes myself and it makes my team members very proud to work for an organization that has been on island for many years with its focus on reliability, dependability, and commitment to the communities that they operate in.
Matson's a great corporate citizen to the community.
We all benefit from any sort of environmental commitment we make. One of the ways that we do that is with our Adahi Utano program. There's action behind it, and so action breeds commitment.
With the Kaimana Gila coming to Guam, this brings a new age and modernization to the island.
It's exciting for me because it's a brand new ship and we can carry more freight into the islands. It just shows growth for Guam and Micronesia.
Matson would be nothing without its customers, and we hope to continue to serve you for decades to come.
The only way you beat 6-month-aged cheddar toasted on the shell of a chalupa is to put it in this box. The Toasted Cheddar Chalupa box is back for a limited time, only at Taco Bell.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
We're going to take you about 100 miles up north now to Saipan, where our friends at KSPN2 News have regional headlines.
Hafa Guam, here are the headlines for CNMI.
Me work in Africa, me work in Romania, me work in France, me work in Germany, but not have this problem.
It's been another 30 days, and the men say health insurance has been cut off and they are still waiting for paychecks.
Single here this problem con this API. Ma se me coming here for work, why you don't give money? And the people, no security card.
Siamo in America o non siamo in America? Ha 2 mesi che non mando soldi a casa.
This is correct. This is API.
A casa abbiamo bambini.
We have a family.
Che devono mangiare. Siamo in America o non siamo in America?
I don't think we are in USA.
It's unclear if attorney for IPI Mike Dotz, who has been handling the unpaid worker claims, is still representing IPI in this case. There are signs he may not be. Yesterday in local court, Judge Naraha was told that Dotz would be withdrawing from 2 IPI cases. It's possible that this is due to non-payment for legal fees. Dotz declined to comment on the record.
I am tired. I want to go to Italy and I want to put a stop all these liars.
These Turkish workers have not been paid by Imperial Pacific International since September of this year. This morning, they held a small protest outside the doors of IPI's administration office.
They are lowering us. They are breaking our honor. This just cannot continue. We just want our money and we want to just go back to our countries.
Orhan Kurtoglu, who translates for the Turkish workers, says they have talked to IPI officials, Mr. Su and Don Brown, but they have been told the same thing, to simply just wait.
What we wonder is, here in this island, is Mr. Su stronger than the law?
The workers claim that other IPI officials are also avoiding them.
In the morning when we came over here with everybody, we saw Miss Mama Jean. She was down there talking with some workers who were cutting the trees. And as soon as she saw us, she just jumped in a car and she left the place.
Most of the workers have been on Saipan for about a year.
Family in their country are waiting for help from here, from the workers here, but we know that for the last 2.5 months, nobody can send any money to help their families.
How have you guys been getting by with, no paycheck? I mean, that's pretty long.
With the help of some of the people here in Saipan, some of the local people, they are helping us.
Around noon, the workers moved their protest up to the governor's office. Special Policy Advisor Robert Hunter attended to them and said he would try to get them some relief. KSPN reached out to IPI's Public Affairs Officer Tao Xing for a comment on the protest, but have not received anything as of news time. Reporting for KSPN News, I'm Sally Lemis.
For more news, visit saipantv.com. For KSPN2, I'm Ashley McDowell.
Well, the arts are truly what make life worth living, and whether it provokes an audience to laugh or cry, there is no doubt it inspires humanity in a multitude of ways. But with large public gatherings currently prohibited, how will those that bring the art to life carry on that task? KUAM's Tyler Matanani reports on how one of our island's leaders in the theater community is doing precisely that and taking the craft to new and greater heights.
Ernest Ochoco is one of Guam's most notable directors. From putting on shows that raise funds for underprivileged youth in the community to helping build the inner thespian and young aspiring performers, he's committed himself to keeping one of the oldest forms of creative expression alive. But 2020 has presented challenges in more ways than putting together an elaborate show with a large cast. Currently an administrator, he's tasked with figuring out how to continue theater for the Guam Gate program under COVID restrictions.
All of those put together, I'm now trying to figure out how we can still continue those very interactive type of arts and live arts and see if we can put them on an online type of platform. Mm-hmm. And it's been really hard because, when you dance, you can dance by yourself, but we also have groups. Yeah. So it's tough to kind of the liability, all of that stuff.
Through social media and the dedication from his students and community partners, bringing theater to a virtual audience has been a success. But now Ernest is part of a group taking Guam's talent to an even wider audience.
Jackie Balbas from Kaha, she messaged me to assist with spreading the word that the Kennedy Center in New York City was looking for performers. And I said, oh my God, yeah, sure, no problem. Let's do this, right?
Ernest began spreading the word to his groups and performers to round up a company to represent our island on the virtual stage. And of course, a performer's work is never done. Ernest ended up getting riled into it too.
Jackie asked me to send something myself, and I was like, okay, sure. So I sent something kind of last minute to her with my nephew Paul, who's also a Gate student, and they liked it. So and they asked me to represent Guam.
Together with other Gate students, local production company Project Inspire, and Interahan Church, the group put together 3 performances, one of them being God Help the Outcasts from the 1996 Disney film The Hunchback of Notre Dame. The performance will be live streamed on the Kennedy Center's Facebook page on December 9th at 7:30 a.m. Also being featured in the Kennedy Center performance is Patrick Palomo, Skip Entertainment, and local music group The Dolls. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Tyler Matanani.
All right, thanks, Ty. Great job on that story. And please stay tuned because birthday shout-outs are right after the break.
When I need to pay my Docomo Pacific bills or manage my account, all I do is visit mydocomopacific.com. It's easy to set up. I just visit the website and click on the link to set up my account. I filled out the registration page starting with my account number. I received a text message with a temporary username and password. After making initial changes on my security settings, I'm in! Now I can make payments or manage my Docomo Pacific account without needing to leave home. With Docomo Pacific, we're better together.
Enjoy the deliciously saucy McRib. Only for a limited time and only at McDonald's.
The legendary McRib is back. Pair it with fries and a drink for a limited time.
At long last, here are tonight's birthday shout-out. Happy birthday on this December 8th to Mercy Sablan Jesus. Wishing you a blessed happy birthday coming from the Macshot and Jesus clan. We love and miss you lots. Love, hugs, and kisses to you, and please enjoy. Dorian Guerrero has a birthday today, so happy birthday from your familia. Enjoy your day, Dorian. Happy birthday to one of our own here, one of our family members, Joey Calvo. Happy birthday, boss. We hope you had a great day today. And a happy belated birthday to Samuel Donato, who was born on December the 6th. Happy belated birthday, Dad. You're an amazing husband and a loving father and a selfless son. We love you dearly. Say Gabby, Gideon, Kairos, and Ned. Hope each and every one of you had a safe, healthy, fantastic, and enjoyable birthday. All right, thanks so much for watching. That's our news for tonight. Please, everyone, stay safe, stay healthy, stay smart, and stay good to each other. We'll see you next time.
What's up, Guam? Welcome to In the Zone. Dave Delgado here. Tonight on the show, Ethan Espinoza, 2019 graduate from Notre Dame High School. He received